Hello, hello. We are live. How are you? Long time no see. My name's Ching Juhl. I host this program. It's called A Conversation with So and So. And for more than, I say 2 years, since March 2020, when COVID lockdown started in New York City, uh, about 170 episodes, more than 200 people were featured on this program. You can look into my YouTube channel, Juhl Media, and please consider subscribing to this channel. Today, my guest is Elizabeth Yoder, who is an actress, artist, storyteller, and producer from Los Angeles. And she will join us very soon. While we are waiting for her to appear, I would like to talk about something is more current, has nothing to do with Elizabeth or filmmaking. It is about in about 2 days. Today is 30th. On April 1st, Shanghai, where I was born, is going to be the entire city will be locked down because COVID okra, what do you call that new variants to Chinese people? Omicron, sorry, Omicron, and the city is a little chaotic right now. People uh, go to supermarket, try to stock their food, their vegetables, and people go to hospital get their prescriptions. In Shanghai, I don't know about entire China. I know in Shanghai, they don't have pharmacies like pharmacy stores like in United States where you can get your uh, medicine in like say CVS, Walgreens, or independent small shops. You have to go to hospital to get your medication, prescription drugs. So imagine 25 million people in Shanghai, and it's pretty everywhere you go has long lines. Also, they certain district and buildings in Shanghai was being locked before even this Monday. They just released people on Monday. My brother was locked down for 12 days. So can you imagine when the government just tell you you are going to be locked down now with no warnings, and then people, even if you happen to be visiting your friend and you're locked down there, you cannot leave. If you happen to be in your workplace, you're going to be stuck in your office or wherever you are. And student in school, you cannot get out of the college or university or any locations. So that is what's going on. You can Google on Shanghai lockdown COVID, and you'll see lots of reports from different sources. So it's pretty brutal, and I'm very concerned. So I have been actually interviewing my family. Sunday, March 27th, I talked to my cousins on WeChat and then directly broadcast to Clubhouse. It's under Ching Juhl, Chen Qing Club. And then yesterday, which is March 29th, I also interviewed my brother who speaks English very well. So we talked first hour, we speak English, and then broadcast to the Clubhouse. Hey, Sharkfin, how are you? Thank you for watching. Yeah, so we are waiting for Elizabeth. So in the same time, I would like to play a few reels of Elizabeth's work. And she is a, let me read you her biography while we're waiting is because time sometimes California time and New York time, Eastern time, she get a little confused about our starting time. So she is about to join us very very soon. Film director Elizabeth Yoder has decades of experience making independent films, television commercials, and new media content. Elizabeth's deep expertise, including uh, leading local and international teams, consume building with executives and talent to positive outcomes. Recipient of 21 plus awards in festivals, including Excellence Directing from Idylwild Festival of Cinema, Longting International Storytelling Achievement, Best Director and Best Actress Audience Choice Award from Playhouse West Philadelphia. Previous roles as producer, editor, writer, actor, and hair and makeup artist now form her choices as a director. Yoda is currently seeking new content, making opportunities on new digital content platforms. Wonderful, wonderful achievement. So, yeah, let me show you a little, maybe two reels of her share. Yeah, sorry to hear about Shanghai. Oh, yeah, I know Shanghai is unfortunate, and don't know when it's gonna over. And seems like people have very little say of when you're gonna be locked down, locked up, and so. Okay, I found this reel is very interesting, and let's see if you can see it.
He's dead. I want to know the truth about something. Our lives could have been different.
I'd like for you to leave.
No. Not until you answer my question.
Don't make me call the
Just
police.
tell me why you left.
Get out of my house.
YouTube does that.
Who do you think you are?
Who do I think I am?
Coming into my house!
Who do I think
Pointing
I
a
am?
gun in
This
my
is who I am. And this is who I am. You ruined my life.
Just take a second. I've got money.
This isn't about money.
I've been sober 11 years.
I've been stuck on the side of that road as that little girl. And now, finally, the long wait is over. My brother, a vegan? I don't think so.
I won't kill anymore.
Then don't. But what's gonna happen when you weaken from preying on rats and other vermin? Who's gonna protect her? I will drain her blood.
It'll be one good reason not to stake you myself. One less problem.
You have 10 seconds to tell me who sent you before I finish what you started. Go.
Randy Glover.
Tell Mr. Glover he's officially pissed me off. I do appreciate you and everything that you do to support me, but I think I need some time on my own for a while.
Amy, the reason I asked...
I do. I love you. You're my best friend. What I care about is that the two of you were here. And you never said anything.
Nothing ever happened, and I don't know why we never told
There's
you.
some piece of you that has to have a secret. Something behind my back. You mean that you've been holding on to some kind of special relationship with my fiance for how long?
It was a long time ago.
I want you to leave. Now.
Wow, that's amazing. So that that's one reel. Let me turn this off. Where is the button? All right, so let's talk about that. Sharkfin, how are you? Thanks for being there. For those of you who are here, please jump in and make some comments. And I met Elizabeth on Clubhouse. You'll say, what is Clubhouse? It's an amazing app. It's an audio app where you jump into rooms or called clubs, and according to subject you are interested in, people you follow to, and you build this so-called hallway, and then you in hallway you can search, or you can search in the search area like at this very minute what kind of a thing is going on, what kind of a room or discussion, lecture, it could be anything, it could be karaoke room, and then you just go into the room and then you'll be a listener, or you can jump onto the stage, you can raise your hand. So I've been playing Clubhouse for a whole year now, and I have gained so many wonderful friends, filmmakers, Chinese people, Shark FinTech. Mark is someone I met on Clubhouse, and he keeps coming to my room and show his support. This is really nice. And when my film was in film festival, socially relevant film festival, this a week ago, and I also made a lot of announcements and news about my film being shown in the theater, presented by the festival, and actually very many people came to my film from Clubhouse, and people I have never met before, only maybe heard their voices. So Clubhouse has been a really playground for me for the last year. And I also host several clubs. One of them is called Smartphone Video Production. The reason I do that is because I shot my whole film, my Young Gun Diary, on my iPhone 11 2 years ago, between 2019 to 2020. So, yeah, and Michael is here. Hi, Michael. Yeah, so Michael saw Elizabeth's film, right? Her film is let's see, what'd you say? Pearly lit a Riley for an indie film. Riety. What's riety? I don't understand. Sorry. Hey, Elizabeth's here. Hi.
Hello,
Hi,
everyone.
welcome.
Hi.
Welcome. I showed your your baby in the background.
Sorry. Yeah, I have dogs.
I know. I know.
They heard our excitement and heard your voice.
Yeah.
They'll settle down in a minute here.
I take
Yeah.
the liberty call you producer because you have so many hats. You're actress, filmmaker, storyteller. Sorry. Even if I put my phone on do not disturb, they still disturb me. I don't know why. So let me try again. So anyway, yeah. So I while we're waiting for you, I played your reel, the one you were actress reel where you're shooting. I assume that's your father, right? Character. Was it brother or father?
Oh, okay. So, well, I can't give it away. I mean, I can send you a link to the full film that you'll be able to see.
I love to. It's so dramatic. It's so dramatic. And yeah, we have some audience here already, and beautiful. Yeah, and So let's see. Sharkfin says Elizabeth looks like a compelling, dramatic actress. Very nice. And I told them how I met you. I read your biography to our audience, and Clubhouse rocks, especially the smartphone video production. Thank you so much, Mark. So welcome, welcome. And now, Elizabeth, you are in Los Angeles.
I am. I'm in Los Angeles, California.
Wow, I mean,
And available worldwide, wherever planes travel, wherever camels walk, horseback, wherever wherever I'm needed, I'm here in service of story. That's
beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So I told our audience that I met you on Clubhouse, and I when I first met you, it was because you're hosting your room. And tell us a little bit your room, because I was very impressed by the way you host, by the way you lead with this very intimate voice. So I was very impressed.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'm actually looking down here at your photo, but it's probably better if I look here in the camera, right?
Yeah, it's better to look a little up. Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to look directly into the camera, but I've been looking down here at your picture, and I just realized here we are. You know, we're filmmakers. We're aware of these things. So, so hi, everybody. I'm Elizabeth Yoder, and I met Ching, as you already heard, on Clubhouse. So a friend of mine who I've known, actually, I met her in the New Faces department of Neil Hamill Modeling. And this is when I first started my career as a model. Modeling led to acting, studied like an Olympic champ there. That led to producing and now directing. So in the indie world, we wear many hats. But this is my dear friend, Mimi. She introduced me to Clubhouse. And this was when everything was still shut down. And it took her a month. She kept just clobbering me all over the head with text messages. Come on, get on Clubhouse. And I was just like, all I need is one more app. That's no. But it really has changed and revolutionized. Even the experiences there are so connected, and the conversations and audio. So she kind of held my hand through the first month or so of Clubhouse. It took me into these rooms where I learned to develop my bio, because when you're on the app, you have 30 seconds to a minute to just say your spiel, and then needing to tailor it based upon each room you go in, that sort of thing. So I really learned that, because within a minute, public speaking, I think, is 250 words. So divide that by 2 is 125 words that I would, kind of have a beginning, middle, end to my intros. But then she asked me to start moderating with her. And I was, when you're public speaking, I think they say that's one of the greatest fears people have. Traumatic things, public speaking, moving, death, are some of the top ones. So, of course, my heart was just pumping, but she just kept being patient with me, and I just kept saying yes. And then, so now I'm in Tuesdays. We have our mod. I'm modding actually this next Tuesday. I'm the lead moderator in Collabs and Connections. And in that room, I've been moderating since November. I first started out as co-moderating, and I really learned from them, because they've been doing it for a long time, and they actually have rooms on how to learn to moderate a room. So I really learned from them. And then in that room, I met 2 other female filmmakers. One day just popped in, and we just said, hey, let's start our own Clubhouse room. And so that's on Thursdays at 10:30 Pacific Standard Time, where it's Female Filmmakers Unite, and we're inclusive. We love our men. I always make a joke, how do you spell woman? The last 3 letters is MAN. So we're symbiotic, very inclusive space of everyone. And it's just really about filmmaking. We went through pre-production. Now we're talking about production, and actually, that's tomorrow. So tomorrow, I actually won't. There'll be the first time I won't be in that room tomorrow, because I'll be going to be on set. So I have my other co-mods are going to be running the room for us tomorw. And so we met in that room then.
Yeah. Thursday. Yeah, I sometimes pop in. I was just, I didn't really know. When I see an interesting title related to film, I would just tended to pop in. It's very interesting. Clubhouse seems like I'm a musician, right? But
Yeah.
I don't see enough music rooms, but I see a lot of film related subject. So your room is one of them.
Well, Elevating Hope is the club that I have on there that I started, and it's Elevating Hope is a 501c3 charity organization. I'm a co-founder because of my own personal story. A lot of my films are dealing with grief and loss and all of that. So the Elevating Hope is to help raise awareness around grief support, and music and art is one of the ways. Maybe we could have like a music room and an artist room. Actually, we've had some of those rooms where there's music, poems, artistry, and all that go on because, what is heart? The last three letters of heart is art. So when we create from our heart and we share our art, we create art. And I've had some like, businessmen or even people who are like pushing the pencil like on the spreadsheet. They're like, I'm not an artist, but I'm like, but you can do your work coming from your heart, right? Like you find your way to be passionate about. It doesn't matter what you're doing. If you're walking up the side of the mountain or picking up trash on the side of the street,
Yeah.
or writing a film or telling a story, like we're doing everything from that space, and everything we're doing it's an art form.
Yeah,
So,
beautiful. So, Yoda, first of all, tell me what is Yoda's your last name? Where is that come from?
Yoder is German, and actually
Oh,
it was spelt with a J back before they immigrated to the United States in the 1800s. So the J is pronounced with a Y, but it's to make it easier for the people here. This was in the 1800s. They switched it to the anglicized spelling. I don't know if I said that right. How do you say that? Anglo, whatever.
it's so funny because I was so kind of ignorant when I saw your
Mhm.
name. I assume you're a Asian person because I
I
thought Yoda is like a Japanese.
I have 5% South Asian in my blood.
Oh, I see.
My brother did his DNA, and
Yeah.
on my mother's side, it shows 5%. And
Oh,
I've had people ask me over my years, "Are you Asian?" Because when I smile, you'll notice my eyes kind of go more,
yeah, yeah,
slit like that. But then when I'm like just
yeah,
here,
yeah,
they're nice, big and round,
yeah,
and so
yeah.
best of both worlds.
Yeah,
So I
this is
never
very
knew that.
powerful. Yeah,
Yeah.
your eyes, the expression from your eyes and your reel is really powerful, and we can talk about that. Now, I would always like to pick up my guests their background. So tell us a little bit about like how you became an actress, how you became a art person, and where is all this come from?
Always comes from inside of me, this drive, this motor, this natural instinct to there's something more I'm supposed to be doing, there's something more I'm supposed to be doing. But it started out, I mean, gosh, I mean, my brothers and sisters, I have 5 brothers and 1 sister, they'll always tell you I have a very active imagination, so I just think I'm born with it. And as an artist though, um um it's when I'm creating, that's when I'm happy, that's when I'm most alive, is when I'm creating. And the time between projects is when I have to be really careful because you come off of this high and you crash, and you just gotta like, what's next? But then at the same time you gotta like enjoy and celebrate where you've been. But to answer your question, where did this all come from? Because I grew up on a farm in Amish country. We weren't even allowed to have TV. We weren't allowed to have radio. My dad had actually had radio. He'd listen to baseball, and he would listen to like the weather forecast. And it was always the best day whenever we'd get snowed in and had school canceled, and then we'd go play in the snowdrifts. But angel snows and all that. But I was in school plays and all that, but it wasn't like big productions. It was always a very small school. Um, and I think it was the nights when I would get to go stay over with my grandmother. I would binge watch TV and stay up all night long. And it was black and white movies. It was Katharine Hepburn. I remember specifically one time seeing her sitting down at this vanity dresser with a mirror, and she was plucking her eyebrows, and she was so elegant and so beautiful. And I thought, I just want to be like her when I grow up. And I went home. I couldn't find a tweezer, but I found my dad's razor. And by the end of it, I had no eyebrows left.
Oh my
And my
God.
mom was like, she came up and she's like, what happened to you? And I'm just like, oh, nothing. I couldn't tell her. I stayed up till
That's funny.
5 a.m. watching TV. And I'd always come home and then always be so tired. And they're like, oh, Grandma wore you out, huh? I was like, no, it was just because I binge watched TV all night. I had to get it all in.
Yeah.
So I think that I fell in love with that. So, and then when I left the farm and entered into modern society, I was like a fish out of water, honestly, because I was so protected from modern society. It's like I feel like I grew up in a foreign country, because in where I grew up on our family's homestead is Amish all around us. And while I'm the first generation and a half removed from that lifestyle,
What
it was
state
still
is that? What state?
Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah.
What city, may I?
Napanee, between Napanee and Bremen. They're two little small towns.
Don't know
There's
anything.
the Amish Acres, which is kind of like a touristy area.
Oh my God.
But the 5 miles from there is where we grew up on the farm.
I lived in Bloomington for 6 years.
You did?
Yeah, I went to school. Yeah, so that's why I got excited when I hear people from Indiana. So anyway, yeah. So you say you when you get out of there, you feel kind of you're very different, right? You're
a fish out of water. I mean, I was definitely looked like a farm girl, dressed like a farm girl. So I did everything to try to like modernize myself and learn. And but a lot of people were asking me, are you a dancer? Are you a model? And I kept getting that over and over and over again. So finally I said, oh, maybe I should go check out, a modeling agency. And that's where I met Mimi, my girlfriend Mimi. And, my first like go see, they call them a go see if they want to hire you for the job, basically. But I remember getting the first pictures back of my first modeling shoot. I couldn't see myself in the photo. I was looking at the photo and I'm like, that is not me. But then I had to strip the makeup away, strip the hair away. And I had to really look. And then in the eyes, I was like, oh, that's me. I mean, I really had like this ugly duckling syndrome. And that was the first time that I had any sense of exterior beauty that, could be potentially a model material. It was like, wow. Because in our growing up, the thing emphasizes your character and getting your grades. Like if I got anything below a B, I was like cracking the whip. They were cracking the whip. So. So that modeling led to commercial acting, taking things there. Then, though, at the same time, I became intrigued with creating images behind the camera. So I'm actually a cosmetologist as well. So I learned, but I was interested in doing more platform artistry. So I traveled, I went through that phase and did hair and makeup and taught other makeup artists and other hair artists, which I wasn't allowed to cut my hair. I wasn't allowed to wear makeup. It seems like I enjoy breaking all the rules.
Yeah. Yeah. So which the city you went first when you leave Indiana?
I went down to Corpus Christi, Texas, where my sister was living, because she was living down there. But then I moved to Houston pretty soon after that because it was a bigger market, although Dallas was even better for modeling and stuff. But in that area, Houston, Dallas, Austin, all the auditions happen in that little tri-city area, and New Orleans. So if you're in that region, just be prepared to travel a lot to the auditions and that sort of thing. So,
yeah, wow, that's fascinating. So what led you to eventually go to Los Angeles and pursue
Ever
more like filming stuff?
Yeah. So at the time that I moved here to Los Angeles, I was on the international hair and makeup artist team, and they're out in Burbank, in the Valley. I didn't need to move here, but ever since I was a kid, I can remember just staring at the map, and I would try to time travel. It was to both Texas and California. I don't know if they had the most interesting shapes on the map or the biggest part of, of the map of the United States. But for some reason, when I was little, I would try to time travel. I would literally sit there and be like, I can feel something there. Like, and what's there? What's there? And I guess it was my future because I ended up in Texas. And then my brothers moved to Houston when I was there. And after they were there for about 2 years, I was like getting really comfortable. And I was like, oh my God, if I get too comfortable, I'm never going to get out to California. And I have to go to California because I need to know what's there, because that little drive or ambition since I was little. So I came out to California, and on the weekends I was traveling, teaching hair and makeup. And then during the week is when I was traveling, when I was here studying at Playhouse West, is a theater repertoire school. And I tell you what, they train like Olympic athletes. They encourage healthy egos, they say. But this is where Jeff Goldblum, I studied with him there. Also, so there's Jeff Goldblum, Wolfgang Bodison. He's also in some of my films. He's in my trailer, I think, if you saw as well. Did you see the my directing trailer, or just the acting one?
The acting one. We'll see the directing one.
Oh, okay. Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Well, Wolfgang's in there. He's at the end of my trailer.
Mhm.
I got to direct him. He directed me in the first film we did together. He directed me in that, and I acted in it. And the story we both wrote, and then I helped to executive produce it as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, speaking of that, why don't we just take a look of that reel, and we'll share with our audience. Let's see, director. Okay.
I emailed you a link to it.
Yeah, I have it. Is
Okay,
this the one? Yeah.
Yes, that's it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. I'm gonna take us.
Sometimes life it just doesn't go like we planned. It knocks us down.
Why?
911, what's the nature of your emergency?
Mom.
You know, there are a million girls out there that would kill for this opportunity.
And here I am. Thanks.
Don't go too far.
You can either stay down or you can get up off the mat and fight.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah, tell us a little bit about the clip.
Well, it's taken from different pieces that I've directed across the most recent years. And even in the director's reel, I edited it. As an indie filmmaker, you wear many hats. So that's why I was like, how dashes am I going to have? Actor, director. I think those are my two main ones. But because of necessity is the mother of all skill, you put on many hats, producer, editing, you learn how to do things. And this is one thing I love about you, Ching, why I really connect with you and resonate with you is just your story. Really understand, because that's how I've gotten here to where I am. We have a group through the Film Lab, our incubator at Playhouse West is our just a whole bunch of actors. And then we have Film Lab as well. And that's then when we learned about camera, lighting, sound, and learning all the different departments. And really the actor is just the puppet that comes in at the end after all the lights are set and everything, but the many perception is that the actor is everything.
Yeah, when you watch a film, a lot of people, including myself, sometimes just we don't think about who wrote the sucker. Like that's the writer is the most important thing, I think, and then people just focus on just the actors. But anyway, so
because they're seen, they're in front of the camera, so it's who sees you really. They don't see it. Writing can take years sometimes, months, years.
So anyway, so let's talk about you. I understand there's a film. I try to find the film you won many awards recently. I couldn't really find a trailer. So tell us a little bit.
Sandvian was my last film, and it was right at the end of or at the beginning of the shutdown, when that was some of the last festivals that we were in. So Sandvian is a story about a woman who goes through great loss, and she's at the precipice of making a choice, like, is she going to allow this thing to, take her down as well, or is she going to choose life? So it's won 14 awards, and
wow, Is it a feature, or it's a
short film? It's a short film, And since that film, I was like, okay, I've done plenty of short films. It's time to raise my game now and do a feature. So that's I've been talking about writing. I've been writing and developing a feature to do the next project.
Yeah, that's great. So in the film, what is your role? Are you a director and also actress?
Yes.
Oh, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
Yeah, and editor.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So actually, it was quite an interesting story, because one Thanksgiving, my cinematographer partner, you can see some of our equipment back here.
Oh, I was thinking, where are you? Like, there's all kind of stuff there.
Production equipment.
Okay.
So we were having Thanksgiving, and like, what are we going to do next? And we had Lisa Gerard's music, Sandvian, was playing, and that's the name of our film, Sandvian, as an homage or nod to her. And her songs, she doesn't actually speak any words. Sorry, I don't know how my notifications to turn them off, but her song, she doesn't speak words. They're just sounds that she's making with the music. Have you heard her songs? You'll have to just listen to Sandvian, the song, her sound.
Oh, I found that on internet.
So this inspired the movie, because so we went, and I said, well, I feel like it's somebody, just listening to her song, I feel like it's somebody who's on the edge of life. Like, they're like literally deciding, am I going to take my own life? Or am I going to make it through this? What am I going to do? And Paul's like, well, I feel like it's somebody who's, they are struggling with some great, task or whatever. So we went up to the rooftop and we shot a mood board, and then we showed it to one of our other writing partners, and then we all just put our heads together. And so she's like, okay, I think I have enough. She went and did an outline, and we met again the next week, and then we pulled it apart, picked it apart, and put it back together. And then she went and wrote the first draft. And then a week before we were about to film, and I spent 2 months doing pre-production, casting, I found a location that normally rents for like $5,000 for big productions. I got it for $250, just a
Uh-huh.
security fee. And so a week before, she had an audition that where her character is in a coma. So she gutted our script. That influenced her view of the script that we were shooting. We were shooting in the desert, and she took it out of there and put it in. It's just so many different things happened. But anyways, long story short, I was like, this is a week before we're filming. And then she says, well, if we don't do this version of the script, we're not doing jack shit. And I said, oh, well, I'm not going to give you the power to say no to me. So I will say yes to you, even though I think it's really bad. I just was like, oh my God, no. But I just said, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to sharpen my skills and just be in the creative process. And then Wolfgang, who is at the last part of on my director's reel, he was like, do you think I can flesh out my character a little bit? And anything he does is super solid. And I said, yes, go ahead. So he had 1.5 pages of dialogue. And the night before we shot the scene with him in the hallway, he hands in 4 pages. So now we have this original script is 11 pages and then another 4 pages at the end with just him in the hallway talking with the main character, which was me. And I was like, oh my God, I think I'm just going cross-eyed just thinking about it. 4 minutes of I'm comatose at that time. So it's just him in the hallway talking. I'm like, wow, I don't know how this is going to work. But when we got everything shot and in the can, I handed it off. I had enough in my budget. One of my editing mentors, I was just like, here, take this, toss it like salad and see what you come up with. And he came up with a good solution, but to me, it was foreshadowing. And by the time something happened, you knew what was going to happen. But what that did, it gave me then the ability to see that the 3 timelines, there's the world of her internal brain that she's in a coma, right? So we see inside of her world. And then there's the actual physical world of the hallway where this conversation has taken place with her and the janitor, which is played by Wolfgang. And then there's what happened that got her in that spot. So we cut between those 3 and it's not linear the whole way. So I really love it. The way that it came out, it's really everything that happened along the way was a gift because you just keep saying yes to the process, just keep in it and figuring it out. And then, but the thing that I did learn through the post-production process then in editing, once I started then chewing on it, there were so many nights, I mean, I was laying in bed, tossing and turning. I was like, how does this story weave together? And I was like, oh, this is the writing process. This is supposed to happen in the writing process, not in the post-production process. And that's why it's so important to get that script done up front.
So by the way, is this a real story? Is it your experience?
Oh, no, it's not. It is based upon, the main writer, she recalled in her childhood, a woman had, I don't want to give away the story.
Okay, don't.
Something happened.
Yeah.
And she never was the same.
Yeah. Is there a trailer for this?
I haven't put together a trailer.
Oh, okay. You probably should.
But I can send you a link so you can see it.
Yeah. Oh, I want to see. Yeah. I found some work.
To see it, just send me a link because it has been in the festival markets and we are talking to distribution channels. So I don't have it up on public yet. Just I've been keeping it wraps. But if you're watching this, just send me an email, Elizabeth at Elizabeth Yoder, and let me know you sold on Ching's channel, and I'll send you.
Also check out Elizabeth has a really nice YouTube channel. She has some reels there and clips there, and I saw you have on your opening thing you have a EP what do you call EPK?
Oh
EPK.
Electronic press kit.
That's very nice. And anything you want to show us?
Well, that EPK is old. Actually, I shaved my head about 2016. See how white I am here?
Oh yeah, what
I was-
happened?
Nothing happened.
Oh,
I've,
you,
enjoyed so many wonderful years on this planet.
yeah.
This is just my natural colors.
Oh, that's beautiful. You know,
Yeah.
some people have to dye their hair like that.
Well, thank you.
It's nice.
So what was happening, I was darkest brown before almost black. And you can imagine that dark, like, let me get, I mean, this is like,
Yeah.
my camera's backwards. So everything I'm
Yeah.
doing is like reverse. But so even if it was this dark, if I was coloring this dark
Yeah.
over this white, as
Yeah.
soon as anything starts coming out,
Yeah.
then you have that little white,
Oh.
and it just looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I always wanted to shave my head since I saw G.I. Jane.
Oh. Well,
So-
speaking with G.I. Jane, the Oscar thing.
Oh my God. I bring that up.
That's like current fucking news.
It is.
But anyway, let's finish your hair thing. Yeah. So you shaved the whole thing or
I
half?
shaved my head bald, and I still have all that footage I need to cut together.
Oh, that's awesome. Did you
Since
feel
G.I. Jane,
weird?
I was like, I have to shave my head one day. It went on my bucket list when I saw that movie. And then now because of all this white coming in, and then it was just ridiculous. I was having to go every 2 weeks, and it's like, that's a lot of money every month, the maintenance, high maintenance. So I said, okay, let me shave my head. I'll check off my bucket list, the G.I. Jane, because when I saw, I was like, that takes so much courage to shave your head.
Yes.
Because as women, especially, we get tied into our exterior looks as part of our persona or value or whatever. I wanted to sever that. That my hair is what defines me. It's not what defines me. It's a part of my physical presentation, but who I am is much deeper than that. It goes beyond the physical, goes beyond my skin. It goes beyond, whatever tall shape, whatever hair I have. So it was a journey for me to release or let go of any attachment to my physicalness being a definition for me or defining me. So I shaved my head. And then also I was very curious about what my natural colors are. So this is it.
Beautiful. You
Thank
see,
you.
our audience says salt and pepper, and
Thank
then
you.
they say very distinguished.
Thank you. Thank you.
And
when I also my hairdresser, when I still had the dark, I said, what do you think? What color are my roots? And he just like, gray. I'm like, you have no imagination. I think it's white gold, titanium, and platinum. All the precious
That's
metals.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Yeah. So
Thank you, everybody.
any other reels you want to share with us on your YouTube? Can we watch the EPK? Because I never actually, I don't have an EPK, because I don't know what an EPK is about.
Electronic press kit is something that you like when you want to put something out to the media. You do I had a publicist for a while, so she was like, okay, we need to get your story encapsulated in a short video, and then we send it out in a press kit so any press organizations can pick it up, and then they can use snippets from the EPK on their news channel.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let me take us.
My life has been about polar opposites. I grew up on my family's homestead, and it comes from the Amish Mennonite heritage. And so growing up, I wore dresses my whole life and no makeup and didn't cut my hair.
Growing up, all my clothes were from thrift shops and all hand-me-down clothes. So this is very fun, taking me back down memory lane. When I was 11 years old, we were coming home from church and drunk drivers struck our car and my father died. As you can imagine, it was the most challenging, most horrific thing I've had to face in my life. So this paradise that I was growing up in was ripped from us. And I now was faced with being filled with anger, bitterness, not understanding, and then being angry even with myself because now I'm having all these hateful, vengeful thoughts inside. And this was the challenge I've had to overcome, you know, as a young adult and into my adult years. I consider life to be my first and foremost role and most important role. I would say my first substantial role that I am most proud of is the one that I just filmed, and it's based off of my life story, The Long Wait. And I play Grace, and she's a woman who didn't make it through to the other side as far as letting go of the bitterness and the anger and the revenge feelings. So that was very challenging and cathartic in many ways.
What are you doing?
What's it look like I'm doing?
Put the gun down.
Why did you leave?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bullshit!
Be careful with that thing. It might go off.
Don't you worry, I know how to use it.
I founded a charity organization in honor of my father. So I always wanted to do something in his memory and in his honor. We took on the name Elevating Hope so that people who are currently going through the grieving process can know that there is beyond hope, that life, while it will never be the same, it can be good again. And it's embracing all that life brings your way, the good, the bad, and the ugly, because when we learn from these things, when we're able to grow from these things, it's really all good. First and foremost, the biggest impact I can have anywhere starts right here. And then it becomes like a rippling effect, like the water that drops in and then going out into our family, our community, our town, our country, and the world. So the question of the day is, how does an Amish girl go from Amish conservative to dominatrix?
Mix lace with latex, thigh-high boots, and that's how you do it.
So it's really about taking all of your experiences in life, the light and the dark, and merging them together, embracing them and accepting them, and then use them as tools to tell a story and to share with other people, so that through sharing our stories, we have to learn from one another. That's a wrap.
So you have an old Instagram.
Whoa, that's wonderful. Yeah, let's see. Let me turn this off. And that's awesome. I see the different characters you play and the different side of you, and you know, sassiness and dangerousness and beautiful of you. Yeah, it's beautiful. Yeah.
Thank you. Well, we all have a light and a dark, a black and a white side. You know, we have our public persona that we present to the world, and then we have what we deal with behind closed doors when we lay our head on our pillow at night to go to sleep. You know, those dark, sometimes can be dark nights. I've been through a lot of dark nights, and I bring that now to my stories and use it as art. And that's what really has helped me heal through. My art has helped me heal those dark nights. So
yeah, so you must be a very quick learner. You learn a lot of things. In terms of editing, what kind of software do you use?
I use Premiere Pro.
Yay!
Yay! Is that what you use too? Obviously.
No, I don't know how. That's why I respect people knows it. I use Final Cut Pro 10.
I think that's harder.
Really? I was too chicken to learn, but
Well,
I
I
should
think
learn.
it's when you learn a tool
Really, it's understanding the tool and all the nuances of it. I did start editing on some of the stuff that we did for Elevating Hope's YouTube channel. We have over 70 videos on that YouTube channel, so check that out sometime too. We went down to Miami Fashion Week, interviewed models, makeup artists, behind the scenes, just challenges they had to overcome, how they overcome it. And that most of that stuff on there was done through Final Cut Pro. But then when I learned Premiere Pro was in Film Lab, and our graduation thesis film, we had to have it done. We only needed 3 minutes. Our thesis film ended up being almost 15 minutes.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that was
So-
like a marathon learning to get that done, within the time frame, because if we didn't get that done, we couldn't go to the next advanced class.
So you have a beautiful quote included in your biography, which our guest, you can see that in the description of YouTube. You said film directing is an art that requires attention to detail, which I am passionate about. If you are looking for high quality film or video with a personal touch, then look no further. So tell us more about this quote.
As I said at the beginning, I'm in service to story. So no matter what project it is that I'm working on, I always come back down to that core. What is the best way to tell this story? And I ask the story, how do you want to be told? What's your message? And I'm the vehicle. We are whoever that we're collaborating with. We are the voice that gives this story voice. And so healthy egos are encouraged. It's never about just me, because it takes so many people except for you have a different story to tell, Ching, with your experience with your iPhone and traveling across the globe with Andrew, and this amazing documentary you did as one woman that you created. This is so amazing. But once you start going into this type of theatrical storytelling, you can do it alone. And a lot of my earlier things, that's how I learned so many different departments, is because I needed to learn. I had to do it. I didn't have the money to pay anybody, or I would run into people who would get passionate about the project, and they'd come on board, and we create it together. So that's how you do it. You just learn to do it yourself, or you learn to get the funding to do it, and get the people on. I love when I'm working and I have budgets and I can bring people on. I love getting the best person I can get in that department base that will, serve my client's budget, and then allow them to. They're the professional. They're the maestro in that department. That whether it's camera, lightings, and then we collaborate. And I say, okay, I want you to have this space to really create, to express yourself, and in service of stories. So that's what I love, is telling stories.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Nick Riviera, he is a very key member of my film, my Young Gun Diary. He was with me in New York, Connecticut, and we went to Iowa, and eventually we ended up in New Hampshire. So he actually is in the audience right now. He asked you a question.
Oh, how was the philanthropic organization during the shutdown in its mission to help people in the grieving process? Did it change? Yes, we have always been serving people through emails, through social media, through one-on-one phone calls, and now everybody's doing Zoom. So this is new avenues that we hadn't done before, which it's totally expanded, not just for this company or all of us. Really, we have global reach now, because we can have Zoom calls that are, anybody from around the world. If they want to tune in, they can just click a link, and here we're all connected. Isn't that cool?
Yeah,
that's
wonderful.
So cool. Yeah,
that's wonderful. So now Nick asked another question. What project are you most passionate about now? Several.
Most passionate about now. Well, I'm in post-production on Surprise, is something that we shot during the pandemic. It started out as just a shits and giggles little monster movie that's turned into having a little more depth. And then of course it was artists that were contributing and people given the range to really create. It's turned out like more than just a little shits and giggles thing. So we have the rough cut on that, and I've got a quarter of the way through the first polish. So that I'm working on a deadline to get that out this month, end of this month, in terms of getting it ready for submission for the festival. But the one project I'm most passionate about is been writing is I've used the name Good Girl is the name of it. It's a working title. May not change, but I think it's a pretty good title. But it really talks about my experience. It's based on my life again. But growing up in a very strict religious upbringing, and then the death of the father, and then the trauma from this religious environment, albeit they were honestly coming from the best place that they thought. They were trying to save my soul from burning in hellfire and damnations. What are a few bruises when your eternal soul is at risk, you know? So I don't know if you've seen the Boy Erased movie. Have you seen that one? It's a gay teenage son of a Baptist preacher comes out to his family, and they put him through conversion therapy. So it's a little bit, it has that same kind of vibe or theme. And I love how they made that film, because it wasn't to demonize them, because they were not coming from a bad space. They were coming from love.
Mm-hmm.
Did not know the damage that they had caused in my experience. They did not know the damage that ripped my world apart in another way. So it's dealing with that.
So the accident happened. You were in the car too?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
How many people in the car?
It was my mom and my sister and 3 of my 5 brothers were in the car.
And you're all okay, except your father?
Yeah. Yes, we all survived the crash, except for my father. Mm-hmm.
Wow, that must be so traumatic, and it must be really difficult for your mother, because she has, so many children.
Yeah,
by herself.
So my 2 oldest brothers were living in Arizona at the time, and they came back. Obviously, were there with us in the hospital, but then my second oldest brother decided to stay home with mom and help to take care of us as well. But she always put on a brave face, which isn't always necessarily the best thing to do, because a child wants to see the mother cry. So, because if you're so stoic when something happens traumatic, because you want to show them that you're strong, they need to see that you're human as well, and that it's okay to have these feelings and have these emotions. But back in those days, that was in 81. I think the first grief support started in 82. And that was because a young boy named Dougie, he was dying of cancer.
Oh,
and none of the adults wanted to talk about it, but he wanted to talk about it. And he couldn't understand, why does nobody want to talk about it? And because of him, the nurse that was his started what is called the Dougie Center. They're up in Oregon, and they have a curriculum that is now the standard in the industry for the grief support groups and things. So,
wow.
Yeah.
And how is your mother now? Is she well?
Well, she died of cancer in 2007. So she's been gone now for I say gone. I actually still communicate with her on a daily basis. We have this little thing. With my dad, it was bees, because he was a beekeeper. So there were times when I was growing up when I thought I just couldn't live another day or even another moment. And a bee would zip around and be like, "Chin up, my little girl, I'm right here." I'm like, "All right, Daddy, I think I can go on again. Now I know you're here." So he would always let me know he was around, and or his, his spirit, his energy. And my mom, the first year after she passed, and the blessing with her experience was that I started had premonition dreams before she even knew she had cancer. I would wake up at 3, 4 in the morning. I'd just be like, I had a dream that mom died, and I'd call her at 3, 4 in the morning, Mom, are you okay? And this went on for almost a year or so until one time the dream was so, I was on the other side. It had happened. It was done, signed, sealed, fate delivered. She's gone. And I woke up at 4 in the morning. I was in full grief mode. And I picked up the phone and I called her, and I could hear her. She was still alive. And I knew part of me knew she was still alive, but I knew it was just done. And I just felt so helpless. I'm like, why am I having these dreams? And I don't know what to do. I would try to get her to go to the doctor. She wouldn't go, but these are her choices. And then about 6 months later, we found out that she had cancer. So it was perhaps, I don't know, my inner being, my father, whatever, spirit guides, I don't know, trying to maybe help because of how traumatic it was for me. With my father was all of a sudden. With my mother, we knew it was coming. So then it became a game of like calling her every day and I would say, okay, let's pretend you're in heaven right now, but I can pick up the phone and call you. What would you say to me? And she'd go on these riffs. Oh, my dear Mary Elizabeth, you are, my first name's Mary Elizabeth. I'm so proud of you. And she goes, and I'm up here in heaven and I'm tending to God's garden and I'm singing in his choir. And so, and then, so after the first year, I was like, okay, I was just talking to her spirit. I'm like, I know you're here. Just give me a sign. I started seeing 1111 all the time, but I didn't relate it to her until I got a phone call from my sister one day, and she's like, are you okay? Like, I'm thinking, did a skeleton get out of my closet or something?
This can be a short film.
It's so creepy.
It's called Are You Okay?
What do you mean? Am
I can see it.
And she goes, well, you know what day it is, don't you? And I looked down at the calendar and it's 11/11. And I had on there mom's transition. I was like, oh my God, 11/11. That's mom telling me. I mean, she was hitting me over the head after a while because I was then seeing it like 411, 311, like the time. Every time I pick up my phone, even to this day, I have so many screenshots in here where it's 11/11 or 111, just like all it's, just back to back. There's 555, but anyways, look at all those. Where's my camera there? All those orange things are screenshots of the times where I'm seeing like repetitive those numbers.
Wow.
I see it all the time. And it's just in that moment, I just kind of stop everything and I take that minute to kind of just like talk to her and check in with her and her spirit. And besides all that, if you don't believe in afterlife or whatever, that's fine too. But it's something that gives me peace. And I just feel it in my being that all I can remember is being alive. I can never remember not existing. And so I just know existence. I'm not afraid of death because I believe I'm just going to go transition into my next evolution of whatever existence that may be. And the other thing I share with people when we miss those, of course, the physical hugs, if anything I would do just to see my father in flesh and then give him a hug and a kiss, it would be so amazing. But if you think about it, his DNA is flowing through my veins, like literally in my body. How can you get any closer than that? So he really is here physically with me through the DNA that we share.
That's wonderful thinking, wonderful interpretation of closeness. And now Nick is oh no, actually this is first message. Sorry, Chuck Finn has a very nice question for you. Can you read out? Would
Elizabeth ever consider an acting, directing, or producing role in a sci-fi type film? I could totally see her as a sensitive but decisive commander in Star Trek movie or TV series. Yes, let's do it. Yes. Honestly, I love also playing villains in movies too, because in real life you can't carry out some things
you get put in prison for doing that, but on TV,
Mm-hmm.
on movies, you get to explore these other things, other sides that you get applauded for.
Right. And
Silence
yeah.
of the Lamb.
And then Nick, Nick and Jacques does not know, they do not know each other before, but they came to the film screening on March 18th, so they
Oh,
met. Yeah,
okay.
in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So Nick said,
I'm a history and religion nerd, so I'm definitely going to watch it. Which one? The one coming up?
That's the
The one in the
sci-fi.
process. Thank you for being so open with your life story and exploring and contextualizing and processing it through filmmaking. Yes.
Beautiful.
I think that's part of my life mission is to be able to talk about these things. And so my films go to dark places. And that's a common theme. I'm not afraid to go to the dark side because I've come through it.
Yeah.
It's a miracle that I'm still alive, honestly.
Yeah. Consider all the traumatic events. Now, if someone wanted to pursue their dreams as a filmmaker, they wanted to go to Los Angeles, what would you tell them?
To come to Los Angeles, you don't have to come to Los Angeles to pursue your dreams. However, the road could lead here. So if you become such a big fish in a small town that that Los Angeles, and especially with today's with the social media and the outreach through social media, that Jen, you are a perfect example of this, of growing where you are so strong. Like Ching's story always inspires me of how she came here on was it a 7 visa or something? 7S.
Oh, J1 visa.
J1 visa, which was only an educational visa. So it's the only way she could stay in the United States was to keep studying. So you kept just more and more studying. You graduated from college, and then you got your master's and your PhD. And
no, I was in PhD program. I didn't finish though.
Okay. Well, and now you're an educator yourself. But
I play tennis. I do ballroom dancing.
Until I think you said it was the Bush administration then that said that you could stay. Yeah. But that's a perfect example of taking where you are and making the most out of it. I have I threw my hat over the fence, so I'm one to talk. If you really have the drive to come out to Los Angeles, it depends on what you're doing, but get connected, get networking, meet your community. It's really important in Los Angeles to be grounded in a community that is authentic, because you can get wrapped up in the tinsel and the light and all the facade and all the fakeness. That's one thing I love about Playhouse West. The training there, people got kicked out of the program because they weren't doing the work. They just wanted to be the pretty face. No, you got to do your work. You got to take this serious, like you're an Olympic athlete, and be all in and be the best that you can be, like to do what you know to do in any given moment. So, and you can do that anywhere you are. There's a lot of, opportunities now, especially through Zoom, has opened up so much that can happen, but it just depends. Everybody's situation is unique,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's wonderful. And now our hour is approaching, and do you have would you like to do I didn't ask you, would you like to do this game called Rapid Fire? Like I ask you a quick question, you answer. Okay, so let's do a last word before I do that.
Okay. Get in my game mode.
Yeah, so do you have a last word before anything you want to shout out? Anything?
Rapid fire, is this
before rapid fire?
Okay,
I'll do rapid fire after you do a last word, please.
Okay, yeah, I just want to thank you for hosting today and having me here to have this conversation, and for everybody watching. Like, Ching inspires us all, and grow your roots deep wherever you are. Deep is great. Go deep.
Thank you. Thank you
Mhm.
so much. Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you so much, Elizabeth Yoda, for being with me and with our audience. And thank you, our beautiful friends, Nick, Riviera, Shuckfin, Mark, and then earlier Michael, my friend from a foreign country. He's in Uruguay. And yeah, thank you so much. And some other people. And yeah, so my rap also last word is go watch my film, My Young Gun Diary, and you can see that on what do you call Vimeo on demand. So I'll put this thing here for a little while. So anyway, all right. So rapid fire is like I ask a question, not necessarily very serious, and then Elizabeth is going to answer quickly. All right. What's your favorite color?
Blue.
Blue. That's not blue. That's gray.
Oh, it's blue. I
Really?
mean,
I
it
can't
may
see
not
it.
look.
Oh,
It's
okay.
it's blue.
Oh, okay. Okay, it's blue. What kind of food do you genre you like?
Food genre?
Like I say, let's go out to eat,
Oh
and
yeah.
then what kind of food do you want?
Depends what mood we're in. Today I just had what are those bowls with the sushi bowls? That it's a new thing that they're doing.
Oh.
It's so good. They did a bed of like kale noodles, and then they put on albacore sushi, spicy tuna, crab.
Oh.
What are those
Wow.
bowls called? It's something
Rice bowl. Rice bowl.
something pretty new. So
Sushi
that
bowl.
so good because it's so light and fresh. So
Mm.
for me, food, protein, and vegetables.
Mm.
Good. I'm a carnivore. I have to.
Oh, yeah, yeah. What book do you read recently you really like?
I'm reading the Magdalene Diaries right now. Oh,
It's
Magdalena, Mary Magdalene manuscripts.
Oh, okay.
Mhm.
Wonderful. What film would you recommend? 3 films you really like all times.
What Dreams May Come. I loved that movie. It was so amazing. I don't know how they painted and made the screen look like it was melting, like the world between surrealism and her inner world. And it's just so deep. I just love that film. And which one do I recommend? What film do I recommend?
You like 3 films you like the most all time.
3 times. Well, that's definitely one of them. And I like Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
Oh,
I
yeah?
like the movies that I love how I met Ernie Hudson. He plays the gentle giant in there, and he just touched my heart so much. And when I met him in real life, I did his makeup. He is nothing like this character. I mean, in terms of he plays somebody with a disability, but he doesn't have a disability, but he just played it so great. But I also love psychological films. So anything in the psychological whodunit world, anything in that genre.
That's wonderful. Excuse me. Well, so you traveled a lot of places, and which other cities you really like? Like maybe name 2.
Oh, 2 cities, Belize, and
Oh, I always want to go to Belize.
oh
Yeah.
I scuba dived with the sharks there.
Oh my god, that's wonderful. Yeah.
Talk about exhilarating. That was like
Yeah.
exhilarating. Like I looked down, I felt something coming up underneath me, and I looked down, and it was like another diver 3 feet below me, and it was their bubbles coming up that was hitting me. And then 3 feet below her was this lemonhead shark, and he was just cutting through the water like boom, boom, boom.
Wow.
And it, I could see into his eyes. They were just still cold. I was like, what? And just at that time, the scuba dive master came and pushed me up against the cave walls because I was starting to freak out and my mask was fogging up, and I was like trying to clear it. And they just pushed me up against the wall and they hold on. And I was like, oh.
That must be really great. Yeah.
I loved Scotland as well. In my director's reel at the end, where you see her spreading the ashes, and where the character with the hood character is in, and that castle ruins, we filmed there. That was really beautiful.
Wow, that's wonderful.
Mhm.
That's wonderful. So, let's see. What is your favorite junk food?
Well, in
If
my
you,
refrigerator right now are Oreo cookies.
oh,
I like the thin Oreo cookies
uh,
sometimes, but then sometimes I've tried the double stuffed and I
yeah,
try the just regular stuffed.
yeah.
So I love Oreo cookies and I love Haagen-Dazs white chocolate raspberry truffle.
That sounds so delicious.
It is so good. It has little nuggets of chocolate in it
uh,
with the
uh,
white ice cream and then ribbons of like raspberry
uh-huh.
in it.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's wonderful. Yeah. So if you have a opportunity to take two-person to dinner, who would you like to take?
My dad and Jesus. If there was a
Oh,
Jesus that existed in the world.
oh. Ask
Because
Nick. Nick studies religion.
okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not religious. I grew up in a religious home, but I'm actually more anti-religion right now because I see religion as it's a very money-making machine, actually.
Uh-oh. You watch yourself.
It's a huge money-making machine, and it's a way to control.
Uh-huh.
I mean, this is another story, but
Yeah.
actually, I have a good idea for a film on this as well.
Oh,
So,
I have a new idea for you right now.
oh, you do?
I want you to say something like what's for dinner, okay? And in a very playful way, the first one. The second one is like very annoying. You don't know what you're gonna have, or you had a really bad dinner before. And the third way is improvisation. So do the three things for me. What's for
So,
dinner?
so say what's for dinner in those 3 ways.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so the first way is
Playful.
playful. What's for dinner?
That's very sexy. Okay, and then the second way is kind of annoying.
Was annoyed.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
I'm not cooking for you. Okay, third way is your own way.
Oh, improvised.
Yeah.
What's for dinner?
That's wonderful. Spot on. Nick's spot on. Yeah, so let's see. Do I have any more questions? Oh, who are you gonna take? You already said that. And so if you I should take you to a happy hour right now. If I take for you, like what would you order? What should I buy for you?
Where are we going?
Oh, we're going to a bar. A bar / coffee shop.
Oh, coffee shop for happy hour?
Yeah, they do. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, Friday, 5 to 7. New York
Maybe
time.
a martini.
Martini.
Shaken, not stirred. I like it. I really like it shaken. Shaken until the ice is like chipping off. You know, so when you sip it, you have little little things of ice.
Yeah.
I like it that.
Oh, okay.
And I like my martini. Sometimes I like it dirty with a little olive juice, or I like to make it spicy with like jalapeno and mint.
Well, we're talking. No, we're talking. Oh yeah. So if I come to your house for dinner, what would you cook for me?
What day is it?
Oh, Friday.
Oh, it's Friday?
After evening.
I'm a menace in the kitchen. I really keep it simple. So probably we'll have to slap a nice big slab of steak on the grill.
I don't eat meat.
Whoa.
I'm not vegetarian.
We have avocado, broccoli, are the two main vegetables that I eat. And I also do green juice. I'll juice in the blender, not blender, it's a juicer. So kale, cucumber, celery, and I do habanero, those little orange habaneros that are so spicy. You just need a little tiny one, and it just is whoa. habanero, and then a lemon and
Yeah.
parsley or something. So we'll always have a nice green drink.
Wow.
You can always drop in some vodka into that as well.
That sounds good. I cannot wait.
I'm not a great cook, so I would be like, oh, there's the Thai vegan right down the street. I'll order some of that in for you. It's really
wow.
good. Yeah. I
Yeah.
love their eggplant, and I'll get the tofu beef with the eggplant curry. That's really good.
Oh, this is so delicious. I was Scott Locations Film. Yeah, the 3 weeks ago. Look for a place for people after film to go. I run into a restaurant right next to the theater. It's a vegan place, and I have never went to a vegan restaurant, but it's so delicious. It's so good. Yeah.
You've never been to a vegan restaurant?
No, that was the first time. I don't even know. Like, I never would look for a vegan place, right?
Yeah.
I may run into it. So it's called Blossom or something.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really, really good.
You're in New York, right?
Yeah, I'm in New York City. Yeah.
New York City.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be a tiger to live in New York City.
I'm a tiger mom.
Don't you? Like, I mean, New York, really fast paced there. How is it though since the pandemic? I mean,
it's
are
all
people
open
coming
now.
back to the city? Because I know a lot of people left, right?
Yeah, it's all good now. We don't really need to be wearing mask, or nobody's checking our vaccine cards at the restaurant or public place. But in my compound, in my community, we still wear masks when we were told we should do that in elevators or in the hallway. So they still ask to do that, but it's not a sort of mandatory, It's like
not here either.
Consideration, right? Yeah. Oh, one last thing. It's not funny though. We cannot laugh about. What do you think of this? What's his name? He slapped Chris.
Chris Rock.
Yeah. Sorry, I don't want to ruin your evening.
No. You're not ruining my evening. I've just why is now that you said what's his name?
What's his name? Hey guys, what's his name? It just escaped me. Yeah. Will Smith. Damn. Yeah.
Damn,
anyway.
my brain just went
Yeah,
to
me
air.
too. I just escaped.
Yeah.
So were you watching that night?
I was watching when it happened live. And at first I was like, is that a stunt? But then Chris was knocked off of his center, and then he was trying to go on with the show, and he kept stumbling over his words. Like, he was in shock. So I was like, there's no way that was not staged. I dealt with some hair loss. I literally, I found out it was from the use of shampoo, this one shampoo that was causing my hair to fall out. I can't say what it is, because you can just Google hair loss shampoo lawsuit. You'll see all the shampoos you should not use. But so my hair was just falling out, and this is what Jada has been dealing with, alopecia, hair loss. So you can see, obviously, when the camera switched to her, they were both laughing at first, but then when the joke sunk in, her face just fell, like, and then it goes back to Chris, and then the next thing you know, Will Smith's up on stage. So I didn't see what happened between the spot where her face fell. Obviously, Will and Jada must have had a conversation of going on or whatever. But what I think about it doesn't really matter what I think about it. I just think that we need to be respectful of each other. Like, I heard from another source that Chris didn't know about Jada's health issues, because it would be kind of like making fun of somebody who is going bald because of cancer, but he didn't know. If he didn't know, he didn't know of her thing. So
yeah. So I think one thing is about your dog, your baby is here. One thing is about joking, and from Chris, he should probably be more sensitive, right? but it was not a I would not say it's intentionally attack, to someone. I mean, these people, they make fun of everybody, but about physical appearance to some beautiful women, they should be careful. But then from a Will Smith point of view, I just think it's really a little bit over to me. It's overreacting, because I don't think you should slap someone in front of the entire universe television people are watching. It's not just United States, people overseas. And it's just it's embarrassing, for the community of entertainment, I would say.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, yeah.
From Will's perspective as well, I thought, well, I mean, he just finished this film, King Richard, fierce defender of his family. And then another friend of mine said that there's a lot of things that he's going through or dealing with in his own personal life, that a lot of pressure. So that on top of that, he struck out, and it wasn't his most elegant moment.
Yeah.
Say, yeah.
Yeah, I think and also when he was accepting his award, and he was so emotional, it's almost like out of ordinary for me. I feel like he's kind of a little bit strange, like he would cry like a baby.
I think it's because he's dealing with a lot in his personal life, and he's in a pressure cooker situation. From what I heard, is that his son is asking for emancipation. This is not to justify anything, but just, and what Denzel Washington said to him is, be careful, because when you're on the top is when the devil's coming for you. And I said that to my friend, and I was like, really? He goes, no, yeah, it's true. He goes, when you're on top, when you're rising to the top, this is his first Oscar win, right? And then all these other areas of his life that are that are a pressure cooker, And one thing that I do know from personal experience, that we are all capable of moments like these, given the right situation. And so whatever the ingredients going on in Will's world leading up to that moment that made him pop, he exploded, and so
yeah, that's too bad. Yeah, it's gonna be people not talking about the outfit. They just talk about the next day. All they talk about is Will Smith. But anyhow, I just think as a public figure, right, we are entertainers, and people look up on us, and no matter small or big, and we need to watch out, how we behave in the public. So as that said, we are it's 6:30 New York time, and it's what time? 3:20.
It's 3. Oh, look, it's 3:33.
Woo!
All the time I pick up my phone and I'm taking another screenshot, like all day long. One day I saw 111, 222, and 333, and 555. Like, just, it doesn't stop. And my gardeners are here, so it's a perfect time for that.
Okay, your dog is okay.
Bye,
great.
everybody.
Thank you so much. I so look forward to hearing you again in Clubhouse.
Yes. Tomorrow at 10:30. I won't be there. I'm going to be on.
You're not going to be there. Yeah.
But
so next week,
every Thursday. But
Thursday. Okay.
We go tomorrow too, because my co-mods will be there, and they're going to be talking about production. So
okay. And you said Thursday, and which other day you'll talk about?
10:30 PST on Thursday and 11:30 PST on Tuesday. Tuesdays and Thursdays, the odd days.
All right, you guys remember that? Tuesday at 11:30, Thursday 10:30, all California time. Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
My room is Friday. My room's Friday 12
Friday
o'clock.
At noon.
Yeah.
I missed it this last week, and I meant to be there. But I'm going to put it on my calendar so I get notifications.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
I love you. Bye. When are we going after that cocktail?
Bye.
Bye.
Martini. Okay.
Okay.
Bye.
Can't wait to see your film. I'm going to watch
everybody.
it.
Bye-bye. Thanks.
Bye, everybody. Thank you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. Bye-bye. Don't take the Oscar away, Jim Carrey. I'll read your comments. Thank you so much, Nick and Shark Fin, Mark, and whoever's there. Bye. That was a fun